Spend your summer binging a back catalog of over 180 exclusive videos, with new ones every week at patreon.com/doseofbuckley. What else were you gonna do? Go outside? Ugh, gross. Remember the good old days back in elementary school? You know, when you first started watching my videos because your parents didn't supervise anything you did online? Anyway, one of the most stressful moments for some kids was picking teams for sports. You never wanted to be picked last, right? The kids that got picked first, they didn't need to say or do shit. They already knew they were on the team. But once all the best players were chosen, and it was down to the scraps, everyone that was left starts begging, "Pick me! Pick me!" Well, the spirit of this is alive and well on Twitter, as pick-me's do their best to try and get attention from the groups who ultimately don't really want them, but will take them if they really have to. Let's start with H. Pearl Davis. Pearl, as she prefers to be called, desperately wants to be part of the red pill community, the manosphere. She would love to be considered the female Andrew Tate. Only problem is, she's a woman. So, as she knows, she's got to work twice as hard to get about 73% of the attention they get. Perhaps making it even harder for her, she's a 6'1" semi-pro volleyball player who looks like, well, this. So, no red pill guy would ever actually date her. They want 5'2" dainty feminine girls. She's really putting in that feminist spirit to be anti-feminist, though. She tweets, and this isn't hyperbole, probably 30, 40 times a day, maybe more, which doesn't include retweets or replies. Because, and this might be worse than being a pick-me, she's an engagement farmer. You know how they say farmers feed cities? Engagement farmers feed their own sad little egos. Getting up at the crack of dawn and working well into the night for clicks and likes by posting about the same topic over and over and over, until one of them catches on and satisfies their pathetic, empty lives. Like this series of tweets. This isn't even all of them. Most of them posted within an hour of each other, talking about how women should work it out when their husbands cheat on them, and to get over it, suggesting it's usually the woman's fault. And in fact, to mentally accept that your husband may cheat. She actually believes that it should be illegal for a woman to initiate a divorce. She also believes that women who are sexually assaulted are whores, as she types all in caps. "I'm so tired of hoes crying harassment and manipulation when you're being a whore." And, "I'm also tired of women suing and going to HR over nothing. Go back to the kitchen, Susan." I need to stress that this isn't a parody account. Like, this would be hilarious content if this was a character making fun of the types of views that red pillars have, but as a woman. But no, she just believes all women who are sexually harassed are at fault and are complaining over nothing. What other fun viewpoints does she share repeatedly until the algorithm shoves it down everyone's throats? Well, she doesn't think women should be able to vote. That's right. In late June, she made a 6-minute video titled, "Women Should Not Vote. Repeal the 19th. The irony that she believes she should have a say in the amendments to the US Constitution while saying that she shouldn't have a say in any policy is, well, pretty much par for the course for these goofballs. She followed this up a couple weeks later with a tweet questioning whether women should get an equal vote in how society is run because most modern wives are pretty shitty when it comes to supporting their husbands and raising their kids, and they don't pay most of the taxes. Well, you've convinced me, Pearl. You're right. You shouldn't have a say in how society is run. I mean, she also alludes to believing that 16-year-old girls should get married, and that we should bring back iron muzzles for women. Maybe iron gloves for Pearl? I wanted to wrap this part up by sharing this clip with you from a video she titled, "Men Are Superior Beings."
And what I realized is women can only be, the best version of ourselves under the authority of a guy. Whether if it's at work, it's in a company they built. If it's at home, it's under the authority of male headship of the household. If it's in society, well, it's really only under guys' authority. So I've sort of concluded that men are just superior beings. I don't say this to be mean. I don't say every single man But I will say that I can't think of one thing that women are better at that numbers back up.
I mean, you're definitely better at being a misogynist than I ever was. Shit, I just made fun of Beyonce's Run the World one time. And maybe said some mean things about Kesha several times. But man, this chick, she makes me look like Susan B. Anthony. Anyway, guys, if someone would please take the bullet here and marry this woman, then tell her that she can't tweet anymore. She'd have to listen. After all, she believes that a woman should respect her husband like one would respect their boss. And if you're like, oh God no, then I'd have to be stuck with her. No, you wouldn't. You can just cheat on her. She said she has to accept that. It's her fault. We move on to Blaire White. Blaire wants to be on Team Conservative as she poses an American flag and camo bikinis with guns. Awooga, that's my kind of woman, you might say if you're a fat dad who loves the 3 F's: freedom, football, and family. In that order. She posts boomer memes like this to get those sweet likes. Only 90s kids will remember when the only 2 genders you could select were male and female. She feels that the whole Target and Bud Light situation was corporate propaganda shoved down people's throats and up their asses. A store selling shirts with rainbows and having one trans woman make one Instagram post. Inescapable. So what's the problem, Buckley? You can be a woman and conservative. Yeah, sure you can. But here's the twist. She is a trans woman. Now, Blaire doesn't hide this fact. Just kind of tucks it back. No. In fact, she's very upfront about it so that she can use it as part of the pick-me persona. To be like, all these leftist trans people are crazy, but I'm one of the good ones. As she tweets things like this. A transgender child is like a vegan cat. We all know who's making the lifestyle choices. This, of course, playing into the whole claim that millions of children are being groomed into this lifestyle and being forced to take hormones. Now, Blaire didn't start fully transitioning until she was 20, but there's no way she woke up one day and said, I've never considered the possibility that I'm a woman trapped in a man's body until right this second, and now I'm gonna do something about it. I guarantee as a child she didn't feel comfortable in her own skin. Who made that decision for her then? Or now? She wasn't groomed into it. Everyone else was, though. She also posted a statement so stupid even she realized it had to be deleted. But this is the internet. Nothing can be deleted. If the statement, trans women are women, were true, the statement, women are trans women, would be equally as true. But virtually no one thinks or says that. Just an observation. You know, maybe she wasn't groomed in school because clearly she didn't go. Because you learn the classic rectangle logic in like grade 1. All squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. All beef comes from cows, but not all cows become beef. All Dobermans are dogs, but not all dogs are Dobermans. Imagine this being an observation an adult had. So, what does she believe trans people are then? I think it can be summed up with this quote of hers.
I consider trans women to be a category of men, not a category of women. That is my opinion as a trans woman myself. So don't you dare tell me I can't have my opinion.
Sure, you can have your opinion, but it just makes me wonder, what was the point then? Why did you spend all the time and effort to look like this if you consider yourself a man? Spent who knows how much time and money on surgery, on hormones, maybe speech therapy, all the pain and recovery time, having to continue to take medication forever. And at the end of it, you haven't even convinced yourself that you're different? I mean, every 13-year-old boy has joked, man, if I had big boobs, I'd never leave my bedroom. But this is taking that to an extreme. Anyway, she also plays the victim, claiming, I used to live in fear of death threats from leftists. These days, I live in preparation. Yeah, when I see a person with their back to a wall holding 2 large guns, I definitely don't see fear. No siree, Bob. But who's all this for? Who do you think will accept you? She gave a positive review to Matt Walsh's What is a Woman? Matt Walsh says that it's not possible to be transgender, that there's only male and female, and nobody exists beyond that. He doesn't acknowledge your existence, and you're kissing his ass about his movie. Why? They hate you, and you want to be one of them so badly. It's just sad. Both Blaire and Pearl are Beavis and Butthead, desperately wanting to be friends with Todd, who's a complete piece of shit that also hates them, but will let them take the fall for him whenever necessary. Now, we know who Todd is, but the real question is, which one's Beavis and which one's Butthead? Trans women aren't women.
Yeah. Women shouldn't vote. I am the great misogio. I need a man to control my bunghole.
Keep saying, pick me, though, gals. Someday you'll make the team. Every team needs someone to blame their losses on.